The more you do this, the more the intuitive lessons are going to come through, the more you're going to be able to hear yourself, and the more you're going to grow. Like, the rate at which you are going to be growing and manifesting rapidly is insane. Hello, beautiful, wonderful, majestic souls of YouTube. My name is Dans. This is my channel, That Good Tarot, where we do timeless readings for anyone with any placements. If you are familiar with this channel, you will notice that we've got a different little setup going on over here. I did switch up my studio room just that it feels a bit cleaner, a bit more open. You might be feeling that shift too for yourself. Just like, I need to move things around. I need to get rid of the things that I'm not using anymore. That's how I'm feeling. And I hope that you guys are making the space that you are in beautiful for you to be in, safe for you to be in, and efficient for you to be productive, or whatever that you need to do, efficient so that you can be relaxing. We have a couple of downloads that I want to start with today, because you guys know that I am doing some more of those, and it's actually crazy how much my intuitive gifts are just opening up now that these things are kind of coming in. And for the people that have been consistently watching these videos, we know that we're on that journey of really listening to our body, healing the relationship that we have with ourselves so that we can get more finely tuned with our intuition and with our own personal specific gifts. So if you have been noticing, any changes that you have been happening around you, extra energy, or maybe you've been feeling particularly lethargic, maybe there are headaches coming on, that's been part of my process as well. I feel like all of this energy is coming up and it's just it's getting stored. A lot of it is trying to get out and it's really slowly moving through. I'm starting to get quite a few headaches as I am starting to release more and more of this energy in a good way. It's when I surrender to the pain, it's fine, it's good. It's when I really try and keep it in, that energy is just kind of knocking around in there. But I would love to know the ways that you are better listening to yourself and the kind of things that you have found out along the way. Yeah, I'm really vibing this. This feels very bright. This feels very open. I feel like there's a bit more distance between me and the camera and me and the desk and the microphone, and I feel just a little bit more I've got room. I've got more space to exist. That's how I'm feeling, and I hope that you guys are feeling the same way and making the adjustments that need to happen so that you can feel the same way. Maybe this is your sign. Give yourself more room to exist, to play, to move. Now let's move into the download. So we have, first and foremost, to start off this reading, don't rush, don't panic. I felt this really intense sense of impatience coming from the collective energy, and I can understand that as well. I can feel at points myself feeling impatient with my journey. And it is actually when you surrender to your current state that the shift will start to happen. When you give in to the radical acceptance, mean you know what? This point where I'm at, exactly where I am, there is still more to learn here. The reason why you haven't moved forward is because you haven't learned all the things that you need to learn yet to move forward. Your abundance is right around the corner from your surrender. You don't need to be in control. The universe is in control. You might feel maybe if you are someone who's doing social media, or maybe if you're running a small business, you're constantly needing to see the numbers and you're wanting and waiting to see those numbers grow. And the second you look away and just kind of let that tick over is when something massive is going to come through. But your constant need to be in control is actually driving this lack state at the thing that you are giving your attention to. So that might be the thing that you are trying to build, your social media account, because you're constantly focusing on how many people are getting on board and how many people are doing this and how many people are getting on that. It's actually that control and that lack mindset that you are literally pointing at the thing that you're trying to grow. That is what that's manifesting for that. You need to let go of that. Just focus on what you're doing. Focus on what you're making. Focus on what you're creating. Focus on making sure that that process for you is really, really fulfilling and feels really, really honest to you. We have Knight of Pentacles come up as I'm talking about that. This is what I'm talking about. Focus on the thing that you're making. Carry the thing that you are making forward. That's what you should be focusing on right now. Sometimes all you need to do is focus on you and your internal world. When you get your internal right, the external will reflect it. Like, I didn't even look below before I started talking. Like, I didn't know that we were going to talk about the internal world, and here we are. Focus on you, focus on your internal world. When you get your internal right, the external will reflect it. What's going on internally for you? If you're looking for something to focus your energy onto so that you don't constantly control these numbers or focus on that, maybe you're like constantly checking, how's my growth going? How's my growth going? It's that mindset is actually controlling you. Sorry, I keep bumping my microphone. Focus on what's going on internally for you. Where are the ways that you can better take care of yourself? Where are the areas within you that feel not loved and makes you go externally for that love, externally for that validation? Where can you internally go inside and find the part of you that needs validation? I keep saying it again and again, but like journaling and meditation is such a good way to find the things, the memories, the parts of yourself that are kind of locked away and want attention, want validation. And journaling on these things, meditating on these things, kind of drawing it back to a memory, a place, a feeling, will show you parts of you that aren't feeling enough love from you, and it's manifesting in a way where you're trying to get validation somewhere else. When I was getting this download, I used to listen to a lot of Lauryn Hill, and there's a line that kind of always stuck with me and kind of was brought up again from the song Doo Wop. Like, you guys know, girls, you better watch out. Some guys are only about that thing. Like, I'm not going to sing here because I feel like I'm scared that I'm going to lose followers. Even though I'm a singer, I'm like, I feel like y'all are going to get mad for some reason. I don't know. That's my thing to work through. If you do want to hear me sing, go check out my Instagram because that Danzy sings. But there's a line in that song, Doo Wop, from Lauryn Hill, that's, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? Like, mic drop. How are you going to externally win in the outside external world when you aren't right within? You need to focus on this, and it can actually be a good diversion or distraction away from the things that you are trying to externally control. Just take all that energy, focus it on your internal, so when you're not looking at that stuff and you're not controlling that, that can tick over and grow and manifest in the way that it should. There are more than enough hours in the day to feel satisfied with your work and your productivity if you set achievable goals and make your actions easy for you. Okay, so I really feel this ambition and drive. Cards just fell out, didn't even need to shuffle. I feel so much ambition and drive from this collective, and that is why I'm getting this big energy of impatience as well, because you're kind of like, I want so much for myself. I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be great, I want to be accomplished, I want to be financially free, I want to be successful. There is so much of that because you have so much ambition and you have so much drive. But there is the rough end of that stick, which is like, you can really bully yourself if you feel like you haven't done enough. And that can also put you in a place of kind of paralysis if you feel like you want to do so much and you don't know where to start, or you have some kind of limiting beliefs about whether or not you'll be able to achieve it. Like, not knowing or believing in yourself, thinking that you're going to be able to achieve that, on the other side of having so much ambition, is one of the most painful things to carry. Because having that drive and ambition and then not believing in yourself to do it, like, it's the biggest cognitive dissonance that you can carry, and it often drives us into a state of bullying ourselves or putting us in a place of paralysis where we try so hard not to deal with these two things that are warring with each other that we just completely disengage, we completely dissociate. We can cover up this cognitive dissonance with things like drinking, smoking, procrastinating. Like, all these things are just kind of masking this internal war that's going on. But you can start to alleviate this stress by making the changes really easy for you. If moving is something that you want to do more of, or you want to be more energetic and you want to have more exercise, you don't have to put into your routine to do a 3-hour workout every single day. Like, you can just start by making that a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk. I started doing this by doing a 10-minute yoga video, because there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing 10 minutes of yoga. It's 10 minutes of yoga. I don't do that in my lounge. Like, I can just do that. I make it really easy for me. Don't make these changes hard for you. If you set achievable goals and make your actions easy, like, you can make this really easy for you. You succeeding doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a hard thing to do. You have more than enough hours in the day to feel satisfied with your work and your productivity. I really put it to you guys. If there are more things that you want to put into your day, 5 minutes. If you want to be, I don't know, maybe you play guitar and you want to practice more guitar, set a 5-minute timer. You're going to play guitar for 5 minutes. It might be 2 songs that you play. And I'll bet that you play a little bit more. Or maybe you hit that 5 minutes and you have to go do something else. But every little bit adds up. Every tiny little bit of what you do adds up. And you're going to feel so much better for doing a little bit of it than not doing it at all, because you feel like there's too much to do. If there's so much to do a tiny little bit. Tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. We had Page of Cups, 10 of Wands, a 2 of Wands. If you feel like there is so much you have to do, break it down. If you feel like there are 11, if there are 10 things that you need to do 2 of them. Make time for 2 of them. You're going to feel better about doing 2 of the 10 things that you need to do than not doing the 10 things that you need to do. And once you're on a roll, like, you'll know, like, you get into the zone of doing it. You're on a roll. Make sure that when you are doing these things, that you are doing it with a loving energy, with a loving, caring energy. Make sure you are treating yourself so kindly. Like, what's the point of doing all this stuff if you're bullying yourself the whole way through it? Just be nice. Just be nice to yourself. Almost treat yourself as if you were like a student and you were a teacher, and like, you're the kind of teacher that you would love to have. You know what I mean? Like, not a bullying, like, crack the whip teacher, unless you need that, but like, really kind and compassionate. Be so compassionate with yourself when you're trying to make change. Oh, are you leading yourself with compassion? Are you being a giving heart to yourself and your progress? I don't even look at that. But that's exactly what was next in the download. Be sweet to yourself when you're going through change of doing new things. Be kind to yourself. That says it all. Let's pull some more tarot cards. Okay. Now I have another download, and I'm actually really feeling called. I could separate them, but I'm feeling really, really called to put these 2 together. So looks like you guys need both of these messages. So the next one was talking about, you are your first priority. It's time to start acting like it. Clear out the BS, clear out the cupboard, dust off the shelves, open the windows, let light in. Okay. It's time to move and groove, babes. Like, it's time for you to start doing the things that you've always wanted to do. And that starts with you making sure that every morning that you wake up, every day that you spend, you are first and foremost taking care of yourself. Now, I say this because I feel like maybe you're not. Maybe I feel like you're trying to take care of everyone else. And maybe other people aren't even asking you. Maybe you have like a family dependent on you. Fair enough, you feel like you're giving so much to other people. But I feel like for some of you, you're actually just fully giving yourself up in prioritizing other people, not even because you want to, but maybe because you've spent your whole life doing that and you don't know how to get out of that habit. You're not used to being able to be your first priority. When was the last time you made yourself the first priority? I really feel like for some people, you never have. This is what this is about. You're making space for you to exist, and you're going to make time to do the things that are going to mean that you're taking care of yourself. Like, of course you're not getting all of this stuff done if you're constantly doing things for other people and you're not even accustomed to taking care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. All I can hear is Lauryn Hill in my head, but like, you need to do you. You really, really need to get into the habit of making sure that you're okay and you're taken care of. We're talking mind, body, spirit here. Making sure your internal world is okay. because you can't fix anything, especially not long term, if you are not taking care of yourself. In here we have Page of Swords and we have the Ace of Cups. It's just you filling up your cup and you really taking action on the things that you have been wanting to do for so long. I feel like for some of you it's a team sport, it's a dance class, it's just singing more. Singing is a beautifully spiritual thing. Like, as someone who is a singer, who has taught singing for a really long time, like, I can't even tell you enough how truly spiritual singing is and how beautiful and cathartic it is physically for your body, how it is this beautiful creative thing that we are created as instruments. We have this instrument that we're constantly walking around with, and it is literally magic that we were designed to make this beautiful sound, and that in your most relaxed state is the way that you will best make the sound. A lot of my job as teaching singing is just teaching people how to relax and how to be themselves, a really true, authentic version of themselves, because that's what gets in the way of people singing really, really well, is thinking that they need to change things and control things and hold things. And the way that translates to life and how we should be treating ourselves is beyond, like, the parallels. But I'm going to stop talking about singing because I could talk about singing all day. But I do feel for some of you, it could be just singing more. Like, you need to take action on the things that you love and are going to make you feel so good and make you feel so connected to yourself. That's what needs to happen. You need to be the priority. You need to be the priority. That needs to be the habit. That needs to be the setting. And I really feel like for some of you, that's not the setting right now. You're so used to giving. You're so used to finding your purpose, your value on what you can do for other people. And what we need to get used to is, first and foremost, you are inherently valuable, inherently lovable, inherently worthy without doing shit for other people. Just you existing is valuable. But you need to be valuable to yourself. You will alleviate so much pressure and be able to move forward with all of your drive, all of your ambition much more effectively if you're actually prioritizing yourself. Like, no wonder you feel like you can't do all of this stuff, because you're like, well, who's going to help me? And you're constantly going around helping other people, but you're not helping yourself. Come on, boo, come on, come now. Enough of this. It's time to make space for all of your new blessings. Sell what you can, give away what you can't. Like, we're gone with the old you. Thank you. I love you. I love the old me. I love the way that they got through everything. And some part of me will always be them and care for them. But the people pleasing, the abandoning self, that version of you has to go. That version of you is done. We're going to let that go now. You have to let that part of yourself die. And that doesn't mean that you are that you aren't respecting and loving of yourself. It doesn't mean that you need to completely transform entirely the person that you were. You are actually saving the part of yourself that wants to be saved by letting the parts of you that were letting you down go. And these things, the people pleasing, the abandoning self, these are all coping mechanisms that we picked up at some point because we needed to defend ourselves, or that served us for a time, maybe with a certain family dynamic or a dynamic in school, in a workplace. Like that helped, that protected you. We can say thank you to that and be like, but you don't serve me anymore. This practice doesn't serve me anymore. And as much as I appreciate the way that you have protected me up until this point, I can now protect myself, and I'm going to let you go. Your job is done here. Thank you so much for your service, but you're done now. We have Eight of Wands, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The more you do this, the more the intuitive lessons are going to come through, the more you're going to be able to hear yourself, and the more you're going to grow. Like, the rate at which you are going to be growing and manifesting rapidly is insane. This is when you start to really prioritize yourself. This is you. This is your selfish era. And like, it's not going to be selfish forever. Like, at the end of the day, when you start taking care of yourself and you live up to your highest potential, what will you be doing? You'll be giving to your community. You'll be serving from the highest self. Because of course, what else is there apart from love? There is nothing. There is no point to anything except for love. Will you come back around to what is the point and purpose in life? It's love. I'm telling you straight, like, that's what that is. If you haven't found that out yet, you'll find it one day. It's love. I know it sounds wishy-washy. I know it sounds like very like Harry Potter or fairy tale. It's love. It's love. That's the point of everything. Even you achieving your truest, most authentic self is going to want to help other people and give to other people. And you're not going to be able to do that as effectively by not first and foremost taking care of this inner world. If everything is love, you need to give love to yourself. Prioritizing yourself. Knowing how to take care of yourself. Everything comes from how you treat yourself. How you treat your outer world comes from how you treat yourself. So if you aren't fully and unconditionally coming to yourself with love, that's how you're going to show up externally. How you are within is how you are without, as in like externally. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? This is it. Okay. Whew. I'm feeling cold now. Oh, we have a few more in the download. Your life doesn't have to be cramped to be full and fulfilling. I feel like for some of you, you feel like it might be a material thing. It might be a way to feel busy in the day, but like maybe you're so used to always being on the go. Or maybe you're so used to having so much stuff around, and then you almost feel like if you don't have a lot of stuff on the go, if you're not constantly with a day really, really full, or if you're you don't have lots of things, that you don't have enough. And it's just not the case. Like, you can have just a few things on your shelf and it'd be beautiful rather than like packed full of stuff. You can have your day, just have a couple of really intentional healing moments, not be like back to back every single thing full to make it worthwhile. So I feel like some of you need to come to learn that, and on your days that maybe you feel like you aren't as busy, really intentionally notice the moments that were special to you, because those moments are having a really, really deep impact on your nervous system, on your soul. They are important, and those days are important. I want to say that again. Your life doesn't have to be cramped to be full and fulfilling. Maybe have a look at where is your life feeling cramped? Where is your energy feeling stifled? Where are you feeling like, okay, there's just like so much going on? Is that a good feeling? I feel like sometimes it can be. Sometimes it can feel like a big adrenaline rush, but everything within balance, you know? Okay, so this is particularly for my little pals that have altar situations. Dust your altar. If you've got a little crystal place, if you've got a place where you put some sacred objects to you, things that are important. These could even just be like photo frames of your family that are sitting on a mantle. Dust your altar. Now, this is a very physical request, like a really material request that's being asked of you, that you do these things. Dust your altar, go through it, and make sure you're really carefully dusting each thing, wiping down the surface, but also the places that are sacred to you, the things that are important to you symbolically, internally in your life, you need to dust that. This is what we were talking about earlier of like, go to a dance class. If you love dancing, you love vibing, dust that altar, take care of that, wipe that clean, go do that thing. Go and do these things that are important to you, because I feel like some of these more important things that you really, really value have just kind of been sitting in the background collecting dust, physically and like mentally as well. Dust your altar. Okay, one last message. We'll pull a few more cards as well after this. There never needed to be a mask, and you will learn that the best version of yourself is the same version of yourself that you're trying to hide. anything that you feel like you're too afraid of showing, any part of you that you feel like that's not okay, that's too much, that's exactly the part of you that you should be shouting from the rooftops. There is where your magic is. That's where your magic is. I promise you that's where your magic is. I promise you that when you start to do that, you will feel more empowered, more strong, more magical than you have ever felt. So anytime you feel like I am scared to show this part of me, that's exactly the part of you that you should set free. And that's what's happening when you're doing that. You are setting part of yourself free. There's a part of you that you have been like hiding. Don't need to do that. There's just not enough time. There's not enough time to do that anymore. Okay, we're not doing it anymore. Let's pull any more cards and then we're gonna get straight into the oracles. Ooh. Here we have Two of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. We're done hiding. You want to keep hiding. You want to keep, putting forth this image of yourself that is not accurate. That honestly, it could feel really comfortable. It might feel really, really uncomfortable showing everyone the light that is truly within you. You might feel like, what if people don't like this light? What if it shines too brightly? What if it doesn't shine at all? These are not questions that you need to be asking yourself. You just need to do it. Because you hiding your light, thinking it might not be the right kind of light, that's only detrimenting you. And like, I want to tell you, this is just a little bit of Dansy knowledge, but like, people aren't thinking about you that hard. I promise you people aren't thinking about you that hard. You can go out and do and say what you want and be how you want and look how you want. And it's going to mean everything to you, and everything to you feeling good within yourself, feeling authentic, feeling powerful and empowered and free. And it's not going to really mean anything to anyone else because they're not thinking about you. They're just not. They're thinking about themselves. Everyone's just thinking about themselves. So you don't need to feel self-conscious because they're not thinking about you. And anyone that is, and it might be running their mouth about you, that's sad, okay? That's sad. It's really sad when people start running their mouth about itty bitty things about what people are saying, doing, wearing. It's just sad. It's not anything other than that. Sorry. People want to do that. It's more of a reflection on them than it is on you. Let's get into these oracle cards. Whew, okay. Universe, please, inside information. What does this beautiful good collective need to hear on this day? What wisdom, what words of kindness and empowerment would you like to give them on this day? What do they need to hear? Thank you so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, we have honoring the flow of all the emotions, alchemy, processing, sensitivity. You are okay, you are safe, and you are acceptable, lovable, valuable in all of your states, all of them. When you are being kind, when you are being loud, when you are being excited, when you are being withdrawn, it doesn't matter. Let all of these things flow through you. The more you let these emotions kind of flow through your system, the more finely tuned you will be, and the faster they will kind of pass through. It's a process of learning how to process your emotions, especially if you're so used to suppressing them and putting them away because you feel like they're not acceptable. Every time an uncomfortable emotion comes up, no matter how small, no matter how big, really give that permission to exist. Just be like, you're allowed to be here. This feeling is allowed to be here. I'm not going to shut it down with something else. I'm going to let you be here. And you'll find as soon as you let that emotion be there, you'll find the source of it. You'll be able to reparent that feeling and you'll be able to let it go. And that process is going to get faster and faster. And then we have the mirror, self-reflection, writer, big picture. And on this it says, did you forget all you had to go through to be you? Absolutely beautiful. I am in love with these cards. Some of you might be writers, but this is particularly pertinent to me at this time because on my Instagram, I have started doing daily mirror affirmations as something that I'm trying to do. It started off because I was promoting a gig of mine coming up, but it has just become this beautiful thing that has come into my life. And I really, really encourage you do mirror affirmations I encourage that you film it just because it's crazy to see I'm on day 3 and it's crazy to see the progression that happens between days of me feeling so good about myself and the change that happens when I do these affirmations. I really, really encourage that you put into practice some kind of mirror affirmation for you. Mirror affirmations, it's you talking to yourself. It's you validating yourself. It's what we've been talking about for this whole reading. It's you talking directly to you, saying, I love you, I accept you, I am grateful to be you, in however you feel like you can best articulate that on that day. For me, it comes a lot from whatever I end up journaling about. I find something that I want to express to myself, a way that I want to accept myself. I really encourage that for you as well. Journaling before that, again, can be really, really good. It's just a way to see yourself and to like zoom out from your immediate reality, your external world. See everything that you have gone through. Like, what did we say just here? Did you forget all you had to go through to be you? There is something to be thankful for every single day. Something that you have gone through, something that you have been strong enough to weather, that has brought you to this beautiful version of you that you are now. Mirror affirmations. I really want to hear you guys doing mirror affirmations, or drop some affirmations below. I love hearing your affirmations. I feel like they really help me think of new ways to affirm to myself, and because I'm trying to do the daily mirror affirmations, I'd love to hear yours, so please drop them below, or maybe one that you have today, or maybe one that you have regularly. But yeah, if you guys want to see my daily mirror affirmations, feel free to go ahead and follow me on my Danzy account. That's the handle of my Instagram is in the description box below. I've started to talk a little bit more about tarot on there as well. I thought it was just gonna be my music, but no, I've decided I'm just gonna be myself everywhere. We have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? We talked briefly about reparenting, like letting those emotions come up and being like, okay, where does it hurt? How can I, kiss it better kind of thing? Like, we talk so much in this reading about treating yourself and your change with kindness. Really think about whenever that pain comes up, what would a mother say? Be like, oh baby, where does it hurt? What happened? Where does it hurt? Let me kiss it better. You're safe now. You're okay with me now. Next time, we're gonna stand up for ourselves. Next time, we're gonna take ourselves out of that situation. Next time, we're gonna insert the thing that your mother would say. Or that you as a mother would say to yourself, rather. Because sometimes maybe what our mother would say is not exactly what we need to hear. With love. How can you mother yourself? Really take that forward as you start to process your emotions, as you start to initiate change, as you start to shift your space so that you can more authentically show up as yourself. I have to say, this has been one of my favorite readings. I feel like this whole bright energy and having more space for myself has really brought a lot more speed, clarity to these readings as well. And I'm just so grateful that I get to channel messages for you guys, because I get so much out of this. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.